I'm Ryan from ExtremeTerrain.com, and in this video we're going to talk all about my picks for tub-mounted tire carriers for your 2007 and up JK. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel to check out other great videos like this comparing different products in different categories, and of course to check out other great Jeep content. Now, when you are running a larger tire on your Jeep, it can pose a problem for carrying that spare. When you have a much larger and heavier spare, the factory tire mount just can't stand up to that. There are really three problems that you're going to encounter when you try to put a big heavy spare on that factory mount. The first problem is that the hinges that hold the tailgate in place can start to sag under that additional stress, and you'll have to pick up on that tailgate every time you open and close it. The second issue you can run into is the actual tailgate itself coming apart at the seams. There are some welds that hold the tailgate together, and when you have a lot of weight hanging off of it, those welds can fatigue and break, causing rattling. Finally, the tire carrier itself is only rated for the factory size spare tire and weight. So when you put a much larger one on there, you're exceeding the weight that tire carrier is built to handle, and again, you can end up with metal fatigue and braking. Another issue is that with a much larger aftermarket spare tire, usually the tire is wider and the wheel has a different back spacing, so everything isn't tight up against the tailgate like it is from the factory. That means that tire is torquing and moving around, again, causing metal fatigue. So a lot of issues that come up when you put a much larger than factory spare tire on your tire carrier. And by that, I mean even a 33 that's heavy, certainly a 35 or a 37-inch tire. So there are some solutions to those problems. One is a bumper mounted tire carrier, and usually you'll purchase the bumper and the tire carrier together. The only downside, if you want to call it that, is that you have to first open the tire carrier and then open the tailgate. So there are two steps to get into the cargo area of your Jeep. Now, some manufacturers have solved that, but for the most part, it is going to be a two-step operation to get into the cargo area of your Jeep. Now, the benefit to a tub-mounted tire carrier like we're talking about today is that everything is going to open in one motion with one hand, just like your tailgate would normally open. So a lot of people like these solutions. Another big benefit to going with a tub-mounted carrier is that you can pick whatever bumper you want out there. It doesn't have to come with a tire carrier. So that's going to open up some additional options for choosing a bumper. Today we're going to talk through three options for tub-mounted tire carriers. The first one we're going to talk about is the Barricade Extreme HD tire carrier with mount. The second one is going to be the Rugged Ridge Spartacus tire carrier with the mount. And finally, the Teraflex tire carrier also with the mount. So let's get into the options. So the first option I want to talk about today is this Barricade HD tire carrier with the mount. This is going to be the least expensive option that we're going to talk about today, but it is still a very high quality option and has some features that even some of the more expensive ones are not going to have. So what you're seeing here are really three main pieces, and those pieces are going to be the ones that solve those three problems that I talked about. You're going to have stronger hinges, you're going to have something beef up that tailgate, and you're going to have a much stronger and also adjustable tire mount. Now, the reason that this is a little bit less expensive than some of those other options is, one, the material that it's made out of. This is going to be steel, where some of those other options are going to be aluminum. And two, these hinges are going to be metal on metal hinges. Some of the other ones are going to have a brass insert, which is going to help with wear, make sure that everything moves nice and smoothly for a good long time. Not to say that there's anything wrong with these hinges, but that is part of the reason that some of those other options are going to be a little bit more expensive. So again, the hinges are going to be nice and strong. This is going to bolt directly onto that tailgate, beefing up the tailgate. And finally, the mount over here is adjustable in two different directions, and that's important. So this is going to be adjustable up and down so that you can set your tire as low as possible. If you're just running a heavy 33 or a 35-inch tire, you want to be able to adjust that down so that it just clears the bumper, and that's going to give you maximum visibility out the back window of the Jeep. If you have a small 33 and it's sitting way up high, you can't see out the back window, and in my opinion, it looks a little bit goofy as well. So having that up-down adjustability is a very nice feature. But maybe more important than that, this has in and out adjustability. So if you have a wide tire, if you have a wheel with a different back spacing, and you don't have that in and out adjustability, you're going to bolt that tire on and it's not going to sit up against anything. So it's going to be able to torque and move around. That's a lot of weight hanging out there. And what that can eventually cause is metal fatigue. So by having this adjustable, you can push the tire nice and tight. You're actually going to have it tight enough enough that there's some sidewall pressure up against your tailgate reinforcement piece here, and that ensures that the tire, the carrier, and the tailgate are all one solid piece, so nothing's moving around, nothing's rattling, nothing's squeaking, and also nothing is fatiguing. So this option, a little bit less expensive because of the hinges and the material, but still fully adjustable, which is something that I really like. The next option here is the Rugged Ridge Spartacus HD Tire Carrier Kit, and kit is in the name because these pieces are available independent of each other. You can get this tailgate reinforcement and the hinge reinforcement, or you can get just the tire carrier, so there's a couple different options there. Now, the reason that I put this one just a little bit above the Barricade option is, one, this piece here is going to be aluminum, which will help keep weight down a little bit, and when we're talking about a big, heavy spare tire, keeping weight down is definitely going to be a good thing. And the other reason is in the hinges here. These hinges have a little bit of brass in them, so they're going to hold up a little bit better than those steel on steel ones of the Barricade. But for those features, you are going to be spending a little bit more money. This is going to have a similar style adjustable third brake light mount to the Barricade option, but this is also going to come with a little bit of wiring so that you can extend that brake light very easily. So again, a few additional features that you are getting for the additional money that you're spending. Now, the only drawback to the Rugged Ridge option is right over here in the tire mount. I said before when we talked about the Barricade, I love the fact that it's double adjustable. This one is only single adjustable. Now, it is the more important of the adjustments. This will allow you to suck that tire in nice and close, make sure everything's tight so you don't have any torquing and any metal fatigue. However, it's not going to give you that up-down adjustability. And like I said, with the Barricade, I like to be able to run my tire as low to the bumper as possible, giving me maximum visibility out the back window of the Jeep. And also aesthetically, I just like that look a little bit better. So if you have a little bit of a higher budget, you're okay only having the single adjustable option, and you want something that's a little lighter weight and with a little bit of a beefier hinge, I'd recommend going with this option from Rugged Ridge. The Teraflex HD hinge carrier with adjustable tire mount is going to be the last option that we're going to talk about today. This is going to be the most expensive option, but also the nicest option in my opinion. Teraflex was really the first ones to build a tub mounted tire carrier like this, and they're still the ones doing it the best. Again, in my opinion, everything from the construction of this to the finish to the way that things adjust, I just really like how this kit is put together. But as I said, it's going to be the most expensive option. You're going to pay premium for this. So the hinges over here are going to be very well built. They are going to stand up really well to a lot of weight over a very long period of time. This main support piece is going to be aluminum, again, helping to keep weight down a bit. And then you have your tire carrier over here. And the way that this adjusts is something that I really like, because it can be a little bit tough to get that tire nice and tight up against the tire carrier. It's one of those things where you have to lift your tire on, have the tire carrier just tight enough so it'll slide back but not too tight, then push it another 1/8 of an inch, tighten it down. This is a barrel adjustment, so it's going to have a nut and a bolt on the bottom of it that's going to pinch everything together. But the way that that's designed is going to make it a little bit easier to get everything adjusted and cinched down. As you can see here, you do have 3 different holes so that you can lower that tire as low as possible, so you are getting both in, out, and up-down adjustability with this setup. So like I said, Teraflex is the first one to really make something like this. In my opinion, they are still doing it the best. If you're looking for the highest quality option and you have the budget for it, I would definitely recommend going with this one. So those are my picks for the top tub-mounted tire carriers for your 07 and up JK. Today we talked about the Barricade HD tire carrier with mount, which is going to be our good option, saves you a little bit of money over some of the others, is fully adjustable, but maybe the hinges aren't quite as strong and beefy as some of the others. We also talked about the Rugged Ridge Spartacus HD option with the mount. That is going to have some really big, nice, beefy hinges, but not have quite the adjustability as the Barricade option, but it is going to be less expensive than that last option that we talked about, which is the Teraflex HD tire carrier with the adjustable mount. That's going to be our best option. Most expensive, but very, very well built, going to hold up very well, and is also fully adjustable. Make sure you comment below to let us know which one of those tire carriers is your favorite, or your experience with one if you're currently running that on your Jeep. And also make sure you subscribe to your YouTube channel to check out more videos like this and some other awesome Jeep content.